I'm Dan Lindblade, President and CEO of the Greater Fort Lauderdale Chamber of Commerce, and I want to welcome you all to our multiple pathways to the American dream. Today, we're going to explore options for you and exciting careers that you can take and perhaps someday own your own business. I look forward to spending the next hour together and believe the information you will hear today will significantly help you in searching for a high-paying and fulfilling career that may not require a four-year degree. This is our third event produced by the Chamber's Education and Workforce Council. I'd like to thank the entire council for its continued work, especially its chairman, Andy Fernandez. And I'm going to take a point of personal privilege today to thank the entire committee as well. Barrett Goldman, Violet Lowry, Carol Lopez, Colleen Lockwood, Jim Sullivan, Lynn Goldman, Maggie Remick, Sharon Lindblade, Susan Kleiman, Lois Levanton, Michael Bateman, Jane Morgan, Yvonne Green, Lacey Hoffmeyer, and Christine Shaw. We couldn't do it without our volunteers, so thank you all. I'd also like to thank the Chamber Executive Maureen Miller for her oversight on this project, and Glenn Benjamin from LAN Infotech for his behind-the-scenes work on the platform. Now, time permitting, we will take as many questions as possible in the second half of this webinar. Joining me today are Dr. Valerie Wanza, Chief School Performance and Accountability Officer for Broward County Public Schools, and Mason Jackson, former President and CEO of Career Source Broward, and of course, a great friend of the Chamber and of myself. After some introductory comments, we'll be talking to them as we have presentations from our experts from the marine industry, technology or IT, building and construction, and medical recruitment. For background, Dr. Wanza has been in her position at the 6th largest school district in the United States for 6 years. Dr. Wanza oversees all of the district's 226 schools and 6 support departments. Throughout her 29 years with the district, Dr. Wanza has served as a teacher, assistant principal, central office administrator, principal, and principal supervisor. Our other guest, Mason Jackson, former President and CEO of Career Source Broward, has spent 34 years at Career Source and been involved in workforce development programs for over 44 years. He's been on our board of directors at the Chamber and of other numerous organizations and received the Chamber's prestigious Hall of Fame award. Thank you both for participating. Now, Dr. Wanza, I'd like to welcome you to Pathways for some introductory comments. Dr. Wanza.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today. I'm certainly excited to partner and be a part of this great conversation and discussion with our colleagues throughout the industry. I'm here representing Superintendent Runcie in his absence, but we're excited in Broward Schools. As our community knows, we have 3 nationally recognized state award-winning technical colleges that provide a world-class experience and training to prepare our students and our citizens to be contributing members of the Broward community and the economic growth and development of our county. So I'm excited and I'm ready to be a part, and thank you for having us with you today.
Thank you, Dr. Wanza. Our other chief guy here and good friend of mine is Mason Jackson, and I'd like to welcome you, Mason, to make your introductory comments.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Dan, and members of the Workforce and Education Committee of the Greater Fort Lauderdale Chamber. Those are insightful and important comments by Dr. Wanza. It's great to see so many parents taking an interest in this subject out there. And as Dan said, I've been observing trends in the labor market for more than 40 years. We're holding this Zoom meeting today aimed mostly at parents to counter a popular misconception about jobs and getting ahead in this country. The prevailing notion is that a young person should go to college to get ahead. The belief is that, and we've all been sold this bill of goods, that any college for any degree is the golden ticket to success, almost a guarantee to a better life in this country. If you want to go to get ahead, you have to go to college, the saying goes. And if you, quote, aren't college material, then you can go to what used to be called vocational training, which is now more correctly called career and technical education. We're here to blast that any college for any degree framework right out of the water and to convince parents that career and technical education is not a lesser path, just an alternate path to the American dream. At the end of these presentations, we hope that we have really changed your mind and your thinking about this issue. College doesn't always get you a living wage, and certificate training can often get you further than many degrees. Even Elon Musk has said, if you are smart and motivated, college may be irrelevant. Career and technical education can be just as rigorous, just as rewarding, and can pay commensurate to occupations requiring a college degree. Let me just name a few mildly successful people who do not have college degrees. Richard Branson, of late space pioneer, Ellen DeGeneres, Michael Dell, founder of Dell Computers, Bill Gates, Microsoft founder, Stephen Jobs, co-founder of Apple, Chef Wolfgang Puck, and Mark Zuckerberg, founder of Facebook. So jobs have changed over the years. Today we split jobs into three categories: high skill requiring a degree or advanced degrees, low skill requiring little education or maybe just a high school diploma, and those middle skilled jobs. Middle skilled jobs, also called opportunity jobs, are those that require training beyond high school but not a college degree. Now, to be sure, for all those parents out there, some professions require college and even postgraduate training. If you're in the professions, doctor, lawyer, accountant, computer scientist, or one of the many kinds of engineers out there, you will need a degree for sure. But the majority of jobs do not. In fact, the growth in jobs is in the middle skill jobs. In Florida, according to the Florida Chamber of Commerce, up to 60% of all jobs by the year 2030 will be in those middle skill areas. And what kind of jobs are these? Lots of types of jobs, not just skilled trades, although those are great as well. It's in healthcare, pharmacy, hospitality and tourism, manufacturing, including robotics, marine and maritime work, veterinary medicine, aerospace and aeronautics, including drones, computers, web design, cybersecurity, and digital media. An amazing array of good paying, even fun stuff to do. I have 9 pages of single-spaced occupational titles. Our speakers today will elaborate more about those opportunities in their industries, and I'll stop there and ask Dan if he wants to go ahead and get to those speakers now.
Mason, thanks so much. Your comments are right on point for us today, and it's always great to see you. Welcome back from retirement. Off the bench.
Thanks.
Folks, programs like this would not be possible without the continued support of our education partners. Broward Technical Colleges and Technical High Schools, Atlantic, McFadder, and Sheridan, Florida Atlantic University Center for Online and Continuing Education, and Broward College. Let's take a short look at these representations from our partners.
The Broward Technical Colleges, more commonly known as Atlantic, McFadder, and Sheridan, are again proud to be a 3-time sponsor of this event. Your Broward Technical Colleges are fully accredited, tax-supported institutions, a division of Broward County Public Schools, which means enrolling is free or at low cost. Most of the 65-plus certificate programs can be completed in a year, putting you on your way to a high-wage, high-demand career quickly. We have awarded more industry certifications than any other colleges in the state of Florida, 5 years in a row. Check us out at browardtechnicalcolleges.com. Click on the link to any one of our 8 campuses around Broward County. Get started now on the pathway to your new career.
Why pay more for technical career training when you can get hands-on face-to-face training for less at Broward Technical Colleges? Why pay more when you can get accredited career training by our qualified instructors that are held to high standards by these accrediting agencies? Why pay more when you can get the certification you need to take industry exams or continue to a 2 or 4-year degree with job placement assistance and a guarantee for success policy? Why pay more? Go to Broward Technical Colleges.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be one of the co-sponsors for today's event. I'm Julie Goldenbody, the Executive Director for Florida Atlantic University's Center for Online and Continuing Education. I'd like to share a very brief overview about our center and tell you a little bit about who we are. Recently, FAU's online programs have been identified for award-winning leadership and innovation by the Online Learning Consortium, nationally recognized for student affordability with the U.S. Distance Learning Association's Innovation Award, and nationally ranked in U.S. News and World Report. Our online bachelor's degree programs were highly ranked by U.S. News, and many of our online graduate programs ranked in the top 50 in the nation. FAU Continuing Education offers non-credit pathways to employment with a wide variety of industry certification training, non-credit certificates, workforce training, and upskill-reskill courses designed to create an employment pipeline for local businesses. And finally, FAU's Osher Lifelong Learning Institute serves our seasoned learners with programming in Fort Lauderdale, Boca Raton, and Jupiter. On behalf of FAU's Center for Online and Continuing Education, thank you for this opportunity.
Now it's time to hear from our industry experts. Greater Fort Lauderdale is known as the yachting capital of the world, and for good reason. Our marine industry is a huge economic driver, jobs, and substantial tax base. Today, we have Lori Wheeler, Vice President at the Marine Industries Association of South Florida. Lori serves on the Chamber's Board of Directors and co-chairs our Marine Industry Council. She's a member of the Greater Fort Lauderdale Alliance Board of Directors, the Tower Forum Board of Directors and Executive Committee, chair of the Yacht Service Technician Apprenticeship Program, and sits on the Winterfest Foundation Board. Let's hear now what Lori has to say.
Hello, my name is Lori Wheeler. I'm the Vice President of the Marine Industries Association of South Florida. We are a not-for-profit trade organization focused on the sound growth of the marine industry for the benefit of our members, our local community, and the environment. We are the largest marine trade organization in the Southeast United States, and we are owners of the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show. Today, I'd like to welcome you to the marine industry, an industry that pays 16% higher wages than the average in the state of Florida. The marine industry here in our region, which is made up of Broward County, Palm Beach County, and Miami-Dade County, is a $12.5 billion a year industry that employs over 149,000 people. Many of these jobs are high-skill, high-wage positions that don't typically require a four-year university degree. It's not uncommon for a young person to attend a trade school or technical college right out of high school, spend possibly 18 to 24 months in a program, become certified in their trade, earn a very good salary, and if you work hard enough, by the age of 30, you too can have your own business. I like to use an example of one person in our industry that was very successful, Bob Rossioli. Bob started from the bottom as a bottom painter with no formal training. He worked his way up the ladder and built one of the most successful state-of-the-art, full-service yachting facilities right here in Fort Lauderdale. He also started a boat building company called Donzi Yachts. The point here is that you can start from the bottom. You just need to be engaged. You need to work hard, show initiative, and never give up. Pay attention so that you too can be the next business owner. South Florida is the hub to all jobs related to the marine industry, whether it's purchasing boats, fixing boats, refitting yachts, like the ones right here behind me. We're known as the yachting capital of the world. Our industry is unique in that it not only has the normal jobs that you're used to hearing, such as IT, graphic design, marketing. These are all land-based jobs, and we have a lot of them in our industry. And then beyond that, you have the opportunity to actually work on boats, cruising around the world. These jobs, such as a captain, a stewardess, an engineer, chefs, mates, where you're traveling around the world, you're gaining experiences and adventures and earning a nice salary while you're getting the opportunity to save money for your future. These boat and yacht specific jobs are ones you can get training for right here locally with maritime professional training, blue water crew training, the Star Center, Resolve Maritime Academy. Other examples of jobs within our industry are carpentry, welding, machinists, fiberglass technicians, engine mechanics, diesel mechanics, plumbers, painters, propeller technicians. The possibilities are truly endless. These specific jobs can also be taught right here locally. We have numerous trade schools we work with, such as Atlantic Technical College, McFadder Technical College, Broward College, Miami-Dade Technical College, Palm Beach State, and Sheridan Technical College. All great places to earn your skill and get certified in something that you want to do and something that you like and get passionate about. The marine industry is an aging industry. And by that, I mean, we need to hire the younger generation so that legacies that have been built can be carried on into the future. We need the next generation of hardworking individuals so that we can, you guys can move into these leadership roles and take over. If I can offer you one bit of advice, ask questions, show initiatives, don't be afraid to do new things. Get out of your comfort zone. Being comfortable or uncomfortable is good. I am uncomfortable on a daily basis, but that's how you grow. Be willing to do a job that's not yours. You might find something that you really, truly like. And remember, failure is always something that's going to happen. You don't grow unless you fail. It's how you bounce back and deal with it that makes all the difference. A year and a half ago, we proudly started the state of Florida's very first state-approved yacht service technician apprenticeship program right here at Atlantic Technical College. If any of the stuff that I've just spoke about interests you, visit our website to check it out at misf.org. I also ask you to go to our Salty Jobs website or Salty Jobs YouTube page, where you will see our host Megan doing all kinds of industry jobs. It's a video series that we created for this very purpose, showcasing what jobs are possible in our industry for people just like yourselves who are not sure what to do when they graduate high school or are not aware of what opportunities there are. It's a platform for you to educate yourself and create opportunity for you.
Excellent presentation there by Lori. And what we're doing, folks, is after each of these expert presentations, we're going to ask our panelists a few questions. We'll try to answer some of the questions that are in the chat as well. I want to remind everyone to pose your questions in the chat, and we'll get to them as soon as we can. Mason, I want to hear from you first.
Yeah, Lori mentioned something that bears repeating. The wages in her industry are 16% higher than the average wages in our location. And I think that's really important. College advocates point to graphs that show with increasing income, you have, increasing education, you have increasing income. On the average, that's true, but those income figures are heavily weighted by the professions: doctor, lawyer, engineers, accountants, and computer sciences. Not so much so with liberal arts degrees. And you know what the #1 major in this country is? Psychology. And we're not asking, what are you going to do with those kinds of degrees? You can earn $80,000 after an apprenticeship and $20 an hour while you're learning. And all kinds of new apprenticeships are being developed all the time. It's a kind of form of blended learning where it's part classroom and part hands-on. And so we're seeing apprenticeships in the healthcare industry, and as Lori said, in the marine industry and even IT. I have parents saying that if you're in an apprenticeship or some other certificate program, your income is really limited. Well, not if you own the company, as Lori said. But you know whose income is severely limited? Teachers, professors, governmental administrators, social workers. In fact, just about anyone in the social, governmental, or educational industries. And those are our largest employers. So really, the sky's the limit when you're in these career and technical education, and your income is not limited.
Excellent comments. Dr. Wanza, anything to add to that?
Yes, I wanted to elaborate on something Mason said a little bit earlier around parents viewing the technical career path as not the premier path for students. One thing that we often find is that students return home from earning a 4-year degree at some of our most gloried and storied state universities and universities across the country. they find themselves somewhere looking for some kind of industry credential or some technical path, because for one of two reasons. A, the college degree that they thought they were in pursuit of is really not where their passion lies, number one. Or number two, as Mason said, I went and I have this bachelor's degree in psychology, sociology, or whatever it is, and now I can't even find a job that will pay me a wage that will allow me to live as a productive, contributing member of the local community and local economy. So for that very reason, the technical and career path shouldn't be the second thought for many of our students and many of our members in the community. It really should be one of their primary thoughts as they begin to determine what it is they want to do as citizens in our global economy.
Thank you, Dr. Wines. So there are some questions. We have both students and adults on this webinar today. So there are questions about how does an adult apply for some of these jobs in the marine industry to get trained technically. I know Lynn Goldman's here and she knows the pathway for that. So Lynn, I'm going to ask you to come off mic and explain how that happens.
Oh, thank you, Dan, for that opportunity. You know, students in high school, if they speak to their high school counselors, can enroll in what we call career dual enrollment and get advanced placement credit for enrolling in the technical colleges while in high school. And oh, by the way, that is free. So they can have the opportunity to earn those same credentials for free while in high school. By the time they walk across the high school stage, they have the certifications that our adults also have. If you're an adult student, as Dr. Wanza referenced earlier, that may already have that college degree, you would not be alone when you attend the technical colleges. Many of our students already have a college degree, often with an advanced degree, but they're coming back to the technical college because that's where their passion is.
Lynn.
And they realize. So I'll say go to browardtechnicalcolleges.com, click on the website, and it will give you lots and lots of information, including phone numbers.
Okay, you were breaking up there at the end, but we got it. You made it. Thank you so much, Lynn, for that.
And Dan, if
yeah.
people out there don't have the resources to pay for the tuition, book supplies, they can always go to CareerSource Broward and CareerSource Broward, CareerSourceBroward.com. Where we help people find a first job, a new job, or a better job.
Yeah, that's a good message. So our viewers today, if you're frustrated and you can't find your pathway to the American dream, call us up here at the chamber or Lynn Goldman, and she'll put her contact information in the chat so you can reach out to her. Mason's retired, so we don't want to bother him, but we'll help you find the answer to your concern. But we have to move on now because we could spend an entire semester on just the Marine Industries Association. Our next presenter will cover the world of IT, and this is such an important area for companies for productivity and protection. Witness the recent rash of cyber hackers shutting down small and large businesses and governments throughout the nation at an increasing alarming rate. I can't think of any business that doesn't have IT needs. Here today is Michael Goldstein, President and CEO of LAN Infotech. Michael is a cyber awareness speaker and Microsoft certified customer immersion experience trainer. The company's business goal is to help clients achieve success and grow their business. LAN Infotech is a Microsoft cloud service provider, IT managed support company, and a leader in helping law firms, nonprofits, and medical organizations deploy cloud solutions, manage computer networks, keep data protected, and top technology management companies. So let's hear from Michael now.
Good afternoon, and thank you for allowing me to share some information about the IT industry and the many opportunities available. I'm Michael Goldstein. I'm President and CEO of LAN Infotech. We currently employ 24 employees down here in South Florida. I have about 30 years of IT experience that's there. In the early 70s, I actually started working with computers, and yes, kids, there were computers back then. And I started in high school. I actually majored in computer science in college, And believe it or not, in my sophomore year, it was the only class that I ever didn't pass in my life. And I really gave up the IT industry back then. But as I graduated college and looked at the opportunities that were available, I worked for some large insurance companies, large law firms, CBS, and learned the value of IT and computers. Many opportunities today are available to students and everyone in continuing education. In my time, we went out there and we had to learn this by the book. We had to go out there and learn this in after-hours classes. And the opportunities today are overwhelming. Everybody today has grown up with some type of computer in their hand, some cell phone. And for us at LAN Infotech, we're looking to offer internships, not only in the IT field, help desk, cybersecurity, but also in the marketing field. I started a large IT company 35 years ago. We had 4 employees. Over 20 years, we grew that to 65 employees. 3 states, New York, Washington, Raleigh, Miami. Separated from that company 12 years ago and have been working in Florida since. You know, we started with 4, worked our way up. And really, you know, to stay in the IT industry, we look for people that just have that go-getter type attitude. You can learn from the textbook. Some of our classic employees that have been with us 9, 10 years, started out as interns, worked their way through help desk, and really are self-taught. To be in the IT industry, you really do have to love it, because every year there's a new piece of software that's out, every year there's something that's changing, and you always want to strive and be the best that you can be. So continue out in this IT industry. We don't necessarily look for college degrees. We look for certifications. We love to have the idea of having a 4-year college degree just to have a rounded idea of what the world's like, but that's not a necessity. Again, we are small. We do work with companies like Microsoft, Dell, Cisco, and local companies are many of our clients. They could be small clients, they could be 1, 2 user shops, but cybersecurity affects everybody. So again, if there's anyone that wants to reach out and follow up with us, sales@laninfotech.com, and visit us on the web, www.laninfotech.com. Thank you.
Wonderful presentation there. And before we go to either Mason or Dr. Wanza, I wanted to give Jane Morgan an opportunity to talk a little bit about how FAU is providing training as well. So Jane?
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. We're thrilled to be a part of this discussion. We offer a wide array of continuing education and workforce training. Most are online. We can offer skills training to businesses. We have cybersecurity, we have blueprint reading, we have languages. I'm going to put in our link in the chat, and I invite all of our attendees to visit our website and see what we have available. And I'll also put my contact information. Thank you.
And Mason, you talked about this before, and I experienced it firsthand. I learned more, not when I was in school, but when I was on the job training through mentorships and internships that I had. I was the internship king when I was in school. I had like 9 of them. Some paid, some didn't pay. Talk to us a little bit about career paths and options that our folks could have in the technology area.
Well, I think that we're seeing, as the speaker just talked about, more and more requirements for certification, short-term training that's very hands-on and very specific. And one great model for doing that is the internships and apprenticeships, because you earn while you learn. You know, student debt in this country is awful. It's now $1.6 trillion. It is greater than credit card debt. It's second only to mortgage debt. And it's holding back young people in this country from being self-sufficient. They can't start their own businesses because they can't borrow more money, and they're under crushing debt. With apprenticeships and internships, you earn while you learn. You earn from the very first day. So when you graduate with those internships, number one, they have to be in a demand occupation by law, okay? you are already earning money and you're not under that crushing debt. So we need to ask ourselves, is college really the deal that it was at one time? You know, college costs have risen 8 times faster than wages over the last decade. So it may be time to explore these alternative pathways to the American dream.
Well said, Mason. And Dr. Wanza, you probably don't know this, but I'm working on what we're calling Talent Forge, which is the Broward County Schools internship programs and hiring programs that they have. What can you tell us about what Broward Schools provides?
So through our 3 technical colleges, obviously we provide an array of well, first off, in the technical fields, the medical field, and definitely all of the construction trades, we do provide that those industry certified programs that are complete with all types of hands-on learning, as well as the apprenticeship and internships that are necessary for students to practice and demonstrate their proficiency in the various fields. We also, through our high school programs, through our career technical and adult ed office, the CTASE department, we provide internship experiences for high school students as they are connecting themselves with career pathway programs. One of the things, very quickly, because I know we have to move, that I just wanted to add on to what Mason said, you know, we are fortunate here in the Broward County Public Schools through our 3 technical colleges that students who enter right out of high school, their Florida prepaid program that parents may have saved for college can be used at one of the 3 technical colleges, as well as we have a lot of federal and state funding that allow for us to assist students with their tuition and program needs. So they do not come out on the other end with that high amount of student debt that becomes so discouraging for students as they try and move forward.
Thank you for that. You just stimulated a thought, because we take a delegation up to Washington, D.C. One of the items we're working on is to allow for short-term certification programs to be covered by Pell Grants, give some flexibility to that, and Congress has to unlock the door for that. So that's one of our issues that we're going to bring up. We have to move on. We're going to move into an area that I remember clearly during the pandemic. I was driving in and we were on lockdown, and I was driving into the office to pick up some stuff because I was working out of the house on a card table. Hated that. But as I was driving to the office, I saw construction workers in buildings pouring concrete, nailing studs, and doing everything. And I wondered to myself, why are they still working while we're all having to work from home? Well, that's because the government allowed them to do that. But it's a mainstay of our economy: construction, commercial real estate. And here to lead us through the opportunities is Debbie Danto, owner and COO of Danto Builders, LLC, Maximum Energy Payback. I love that title. Debbie Danto has an MBA, lead AP, CGC. I'm sure she'll explain what those are in the video or maybe afterwards. And she's the co-owner and chief operating officer at Danto Builders. She's responsible for operations and business development of her company, and develops, implements, and maintains standard operating procedures to ensure documentation, safety, and quality control. She has over 25 years of experience in developing and operating businesses and over 15 years of experience in the construction industry. Debbie's active in our community with many associations. She's on our board here at the Chamber. And lastly, I will add that she qualified for the Boston Marathon. So please, let's hear from Debbie. Take it away.
Good afternoon. My name is Debbie Danto with Danto Builders, which is a design build firm. We have completed many construction projects in the South Florida area for over 40 years. I want to thank the Greater Fort Lauderdale Chamber of Commerce for allowing me to share some information about the construction industry and the many opportunities available. I married into this industry over 16 years ago, and my husband and partner, Craig Danto, was born and raised in the construction industry, working in his family's underground land development and building business. His father made him learn the business from the underground up. He started in the hole, digging ditches, pushing pipe, and pouring concrete. Very early on in his life, he knew that he wanted to build above ground. So he became very proficient in carpentry, learned more about the other trades, and eventually started his own business building custom homes. His clients and architects would then ask Craig to be on other commercial projects, and today we primarily focus on healthcare, hospitality, industrial, and government projects. By sharing Craig's story, you can see there are many opportunities for which you do not need a degree in construction industry. You could start as a laborer, and the annual average salary is almost double the minimum wage. If you are a hard worker, show up on time, listen and learn, you can move into other skilled trades and management. Another entry-level opportunity is to be an assistant to a more skilled tradesperson. A certification in a skilled trade definitely helps you get a position and at a higher pay rate. An average annual salary for a skilled tradesperson, such as an electrician, HVAC installer, plumber, or carpenter, is in the 40,000s and will continue to increase with experience. It's an amazing opportunity for a high school student to take advantage of getting a certification for free, whether it is a final career choice or stepping stone. You can always choose to move to another trade, eventually go into estimating, management, sales, or training, or with enough experience, start a business. You could choose to further your education in design and construction. Working in a skilled trade will help pay for that education and also make you a better designer construction professional because you have the hands-on experience and know how the pieces go together out in the field. We have 16 divisions in the construction industry and many more subdivisions which represent the trades, equipment, and supplies, many of which you are familiar. Visualize looking at a house, shopping center, hospital, restaurant, airport, warehouse, etc. You see a roof, stucco, paint, windows, landscaping, paving, roads, air conditioning units, solar panels, etc. Then you go inside and see the flooring, drywall, ceiling, lighting, cabinets, countertops, bathrooms with toilets, sinks, and fixtures, etc. All these items, plus many more, represent the skilled trade opportunities in the construction industry. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, we will continue to see growth in the demand for these skilled trade jobs through 2026. Additionally, you could practically move anywhere and get a job in the skilled trades. We see many success stories. Our plumber, Israel, is from Haiti. He worked for a company for a number of years and started his own business and is very successful. Our site contractor, Glenn, is from Jamaica and was a professional soccer player. He was injured and needed another career. He was fortunate because a site contractor took him under his wings and taught him everything he knew. Glenn eventually opened his own business and is also very successful today. Both these subcontractors helped us build the Kirk Cottrell Pavilion, which is in the background you see behind me. Lastly, I met a young lady recently who was a mechanic for a construction equipment company. She was offered a sales job from another company that she could not refuse. They paid her significantly more because of her intimate knowledge of the equipment. She has grown from an introvert mechanic to an extrovert sales professional. I hope today I've shared enough with you so that you can see the amazing opportunities for careers and growth in the construction industry. I urge you to take advantage of the programs available for certifications. We need more skilled tradesperson today and for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. Outstanding presentation there from Debbie Danto, Danto Builders. Now we're going to think about that a little bit and talk about the trades and construction, building. I remember our past chair, Bill Feinberg, he's always crying because he doesn't have enough folks. He's in construction as well. He's always looking for people, and just people who are dependable is the big issue that he says. They're going to show up for work. They're not going to be drama queens, and they're going to take this on. So one of the things that I'd like to know from either Dr. Wanza or Mason, or even Debbie, because you're here too, is what would you recommend as, I mean, if I just wanted to do the trades, what would be my first step? Who wants to take that? Dr. Wanza?
I'll start, and then I certainly will allow my colleagues to elaborate. And I think Lynn Goldman said it best. If you are interested and you just want to start and you just want to know, log on to the technical college's website, and Lynn has it in the chat, but she'll say it again shortly. Log on. Or if you just not that, you don't want to do that, we have 3 regional technical colleges here in Broward County. If you are in the north, you can go to Atlantic Technical College in Coconut Creek. If you're in the central corridor, there's McFadder Technical College in Davie. And in the southern corridor, there's Sheridan Technical College in Hollywood. Just walk in. Walk into the office. Someone will sit down with you. They will talk to you. They will start to have a conversation about your interests, show you what's offered and what's available. And I guarantee you, you will be connected to someone and something by the end of your visit.
So well said, Dr. Wanza. My
No, I have
dad
to
used,
say-
my dad
sorry.
used to, before you say that, I just got to get this quote out because it really impacted me. My dad used to say to me, it doesn't matter where you start, Dan, as long as you start. Debbie, you had a comment you wanted to make.
You know, I know and I think that anybody can get into the construction industry at any level. You just have to look online, go online. There is a huge demand for dependable people that show up, listen, learn, and they can start anywhere. And certainly that certification is going to help immensely when it comes to getting a job and getting higher pay. But we can tell this, especially even when we're estimating, we have to push and chase our subcontractors for proposals because they are so busy in the field that they don't have time to estimate. So that's an indication, another indication. And I always look at the technical schools as a growth path because there are so many arms and legs to what you can do with that certification. And it's transferable, as I mentioned earlier. You can go anywhere and a city will need plumbers or electricians. So it's such a great certification to have no matter where you are in your life. And I consider it a growth path because there are so many directions you can go in and with the certification.
Thanks, Debbie. I want to just stop for just a second. I know that there's some questions in the Q&A. There's one here that isn't on point with construction and building, but it's from Samuel Cook. And he asks, is there any university for robotic engineering? And Jane, I'm going to throw that to you.
Thank you, and I apologize. I was trying to type to you, Samuel, and thank you so much for your question. I'm going to, in the chat, drop the link to our College of Engineering. That is an emerging field, and we continue to grow in that area. We've got a lot of interesting robotic competitions, certificates, and also degree programs. So I'll drop that in there for you.
Thanks, Jane. Our last presentation, then we're going to have an open mic session. Our last presenter is going to cover an industry both nationally and locally has enormous economic impact, both in revenue and jobs. We all know how important the medical field was during and continues to be during the global pandemic, but there are many other positions available and in high demand that we don't consider. Here today is Mark Adam, president of MASC Medical Recruitment Firm. Mark is a healthcare recruitment expert, helping medical organizations grow their provider panel to better serve their patient population. He is the president of MASC Medical Recruitment Firm, a nationwide industry-leading physician recruiter and healthcare staffing firm headquartered in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, with offices in Houston, Texas. Currently a board member of 2 health nonprofit organizations, he serves as a chair of the South Florida Medical Group Management Association and as social media and marketing chair for the Florida chapter of the National Association of Health Services Executives. Let's hear from Mark.
First off, I'd like to thank the Fort Lauderdale Greater Chamber of Commerce for the opportunity to share with everyone. I think this is a great opportunity to educate young adults on the multiple pathways which they could engage in long-term career success. So my name is Mark Adam. I'm the owner of Mass Medical Recruitment Firm. We're a healthcare staffing firm in Fort Lauderdale, and we also have a satellite office in Houston, Texas. I've been in the healthcare industry for 11 years now, so I've had the privilege of staffing quite a few professionals over various specialties. I'm also a big believer in technical and vocational skills and being patient with your long-term career desires. I think going to college to get a General 4 degree, I'm not sure if it works anymore. and I think it'll leave you more frustrated than valuable, especially if you're not sure why you're getting that degree or what you're looking for, what type of job you're looking for when you're done. Which leads me into the healthcare industry. So I think this is an amazing industry. It has tremendous opportunities for people that are looking to help others. I know last year was under the microscope, unfortunately because of COVID-19. Quite a few specialties were put on the spotlight, like ICU professionals. Those are your pulmonary critical care physicians, your ICU nurses, and your respiratory therapists. A unique thing about them during the COVID pandemic, they were making twice as much, but they were putting themselves in high-risk situations, helping patients with COVID. So in regards to the employment and healthcare industry, the employment industry and occupations are projected to grow 15% from now to 2029. This would add 2.4 million new jobs. Healthcare occupations are projected to add more jobs than any other occupational group in our GDP. This projected growth is mainly due to an aging population and a leading greater demand for healthcare services. The healthcare industry has many different silos as well. You have your dental, your pharmacy, your research, information technology, and all these organizations work together. During my overview, we're going to look at a few sectors with certain professionals and the requirements to gain those positions and skills. So medicine has quite a few channels of care delivery, like hospitals, or community care centers, or radiology departments. Hospitals we know regionally are your Memorial Health Systems, your Broward Health, or your Baptist Hospital. These facilities have almost every professional in the healthcare ecosystem, so we'll focus on them first. They are radiology device technicians. Look at those professionals. Now, they work on X-ray, MRI, or CT machines. MRI technicians in Florida can make up to $61,000. Or let's say a CT technician, they could make up to $77,000. And these are professionals with associate's degrees and certifications. Then you have medical assistant, or an LPN, who would be assisting senior level medical staff with patient care, and these professionals have no degree. Their compensation can reach up to the low 40s. Surgical technicians who assist with surgical operations with surgeons in the OR, these professionals could make up to $50,000 with no degree. So there's quite a bit of opportunity in healthcare in these specific silos for growth, but also with security. Another interesting space in healthcare is dental. Dental professionals have some of the best work-life balance and high income earners as well. Dental hygienists can make between $70,000 to $90,000 with an associate's degree, and dental hygienists, they help with patients' oral health. So they work with oral disease such as gingivitis or preventative care, including oral hygiene. In some states, they're allowing dental hygienists to operate autonomously without a dentist to perform basic dental procedures. So there could be autonomy as well. Dental assistants. Now, these professionals have an interesting career path as well. They have no degree, and they need a certification and could make up to $41,000. So there's quite a bit of opportunity in dental space. Another sector that has come under the spotlight due to COVID-19 is research. Clinical trials have played a big role in assisting us with testing the efficacy of vaccines. So clinical research coordinators are a component that work with the patients to get feedback on the medications or the vaccines that they're taking. These professionals need maybe just a little bit of medical background and a GCP license, so there's also no degree there as well. Their compensation could be nice, and the work could be very fulfilling, knowing that the impact of these medications could have on a wider population once they're proven effective. Another sector that I think is personally really interesting and has a lot of growth in healthcare is medical IT. Medical records have transformed quickly over the past decade and have become one of the most important pieces of medical organizations. They store patient information and provide critical data for medical professionals to treat patients one-on-one. And when this information is analyzed and extrapolated with larger data, you could look at large populations and it could provide insight on how to prevent and treat disease within certain groups, which is a component of population health. Developers and technicians that work in this space could create long-term careers assisting medical practices with troubleshooting, integrations, or the creation of the technology that they use to deliver these outcomes. And these software engineering skills could be developed in under a year. And there are plenty of programs that offer low or no upfront tuition cost. Actually, FIU has a great program called UpLabs, which is a 14-week curriculum that covers a variety of healthcare sectors. And this could expose you to different areas of healthcare that might be interesting to you in less than 3 to 4 months. And then I want to finish up with a story. I have a colleague that started as an MRI technician, a vocational role. He saved to purchase an MRI machine and now employs physicians with 2 radiology centers and various healthcare staff from physicians to technicians. This took him starting a passion in a vocational role along with the desire and seizing of an opportunity. I hope this is motivation for you, and I hope this was informative. Thank you for your time.
Outstanding presentation. I was an executive recruiter for a little while when I was in between gigs, and I remember how exciting it was and difficult it was. And I had one medical field I recruited for was medical sonographers. And so that was an interesting profession as well. Any comments from any of the panelists on the presentation from Mark Adam? And Mark, I want to let you know that there is a request in the chat for you to load your information, please, so that they can contact you directly. Any comments, panelists?
Yeah. Dan, I want to comment about something that Ms. Danto said and Mark, and that's about job growth, job security, and mobility. You know, intellectual work is going around the world at the speed of an electronic impulse. I mean, intellectual work can be done anywhere. If you need a building designed, you could send that information out to architects in Germany or anywhere else. There are American trained lawyers living in India that will do your legal research for you. So your job is, in many cases, is by no means secure from being offshored as opposed to outsourced. Outsourced could be inshored, but offshored means your job has gone to some other country. But you're not going to ship your car to Mexico for repairs or send your AC unit to India for repairs. And for the most part, you aren't traveling to get dental or medical work done. Nope, that work is being done here. So your job is going to be secure. And the other part of that is mobility. If you're in machining and you are a computer trained machinist, and you decide that you want to go live for a couple of years in New Zealand, chances are you're going to get a job because those skills are in demand everywhere. So you've got both job security and mobility with many of these certificates.
Great points, Mason. I can't emphasize enough that flexibility and mobility. We saw that in the nursing profession during COVID. We were short on nurses because the traveling nurses were making big bucks. Any other comments from anyone on Mark's presentation or any of the presentations? Now would be the time. I saw some questions in the chat, speakers, so I want to draw your attention to those, but I'll open the floor to our speakers.
I've been answering the chat, and Dan, I did want to thank you for putting together an event like this and emceeing and stepping up for that. I will say that education is definitely important. Without the proper talents that you have, you really do have to start your way at an entry-level position and work your way up. I had answered a question on criminal justice leading to cybersecurity. You have to have certain skills that are out there, and there's a lot of technical colleges that have been on this call that really give a lot of opportunity for people to get some knowledge and work their way up.
Thanks, Michael. And one other thing that I want to make clear, because there was a question in the chat about this. We're not saying you shouldn't go out and get a 4-year degree. We're not saying you shouldn't send your kids, or if you're a student, you shouldn't go to college. That's not the focus of this presentation. What we're trying to do is show you that there are alternatives to going to a 4-year college. And you might consider that as you're moving on, or retooling. And if you're reorienting yourself because your business has gone out of business and it's tough to get a job there anymore, you may have to get recertified or have further training. Any other comments?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Dr.
Go ahead,
Wanza,
Lynn. I'll go
please.
after you. No, I'll go after Lynn.
I was just going to say this program is titled Pathways because this really is about different pathways where you can think of a highway where you enter and exit at different points. So it might start with certifications and then continue with an associate's, bachelor's, or master's degree. And you can enter at any different point along the highway. So as the committee decided the title for this, it really was about pathways where you can have your passion. And what we've proven, and hopefully Dr. Wanza will touch on this, while she was at the other state university, FSU, she had a technical certificate and was able to work while she was going after her college degree. So a lot of this is about how you just get started. Dr. Wanza?
So thank you for that segue, because I was going to say, to Dan's point, we are not discouraging by any means anyone from pursuing a university or college degree. But so Lynn said it, I, along with several people that I know, had technical skills and technical certificates that assisted us in funding our four-year university experience. But there's a particular student, he was at Coconut Creek High School, and he was in the auto mechanics program, and he enjoyed being in the auto mechanics program. But what happened with that student is, I believe it was either Chevy or Ford said, you know what, because you have done so well, we are going to fund your university education at the other university, the University of Florida. I attended Florida State University, and Mason probably remembers this. Because they wanted him to be a design engineer when he completed the University of Florida, but his pathway, to Lynn's point, was through the auto mechanics program at Coconut Creek High School that was in conjunction and supported by Atlantic Technical College. So, as Lynn said, this is a highway. There are many exits and there are many on-ramps. The question is, where do you want to come on? What's your journey? And at what point do you exit and oftentimes find yourselves maybe re-entering the highway?
Great points. And
Dan, can I just add to that?
just let me make one more point on that, what Dr. Wanza said about the highway is, the one thing that I found, and you've probably heard it said many ways, especially for the students out there, when you decide what your avocation is going to be, pick something that you're passionate about, because then you never have to work a day in your life because you love what you do. Mason.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent piece of advice, because the Department of Labor says that you will change careers 4 to 7 times in your life. And so sometimes it's hard early on to give advice to a young person about where they might end up. None of us knows. I mean, I was originally trained as a scientist, not as a workforce development professional, and through the luck of the draw, I ended up where I am. But I think it's really important to say that we're not saying that you shouldn't go to college. We're just saying, quit looking at career and technical education as a lesser path. It is an alternative path to the American dream. Today, too many young people are picking majors and mascots. Think about it. What are you doing in school? I'm majoring in, or I'm a Gator, or I'm a Seminole. Okay, they're picking majors and mascots, and somebody needs to say, what are you going to do with that degree? What job are you trying to get? What career are you trying to have? And get them to think about how that applies to a career. And the path may not be just straight into college. It may be through career and technical education.
Thank you, Mason. Now, if anyone has another comment, I'll take it. Otherwise, we're going to close it out. But before we do, I want to have one video that we missed. It's only 30 seconds, so I'd like to run it. Glenn, cue it up and roll tape.
CT has changed my life in a way that it showed me that no matter what profession gonna have to continue learning. I feel like the certifications in the program that came along with every course catapulted my career. Things are constantly changing just as fast as we create defenses, hackers create new attacks. And without my CTE studies, I wouldn't have been prepared for a future in cybersecurity.
I had a long career. I was 31 years as a police officer. Then 25 years in the Coast Guard as an investigator. So the VA is like, well, you're changing careers. So we will pay for your program. In a year and a half, you can be out of the school and to a full-time job. I've already been offered 3 jobs. There's opportunities out there for anybody that wants it.
Thank you all, our speakers, staff, and thank all of you who attended this program today. I'll remind you that we're going to provide all of our attendees a link to this program once we modify it for repurposing. And any information that you didn't get, we can provide to you in some shape or form, including our speakers list. Thank you to all our panelists and speakers for presenting great information in this Pathways to the American Dream. We are adjourned.